Crazy.
But that was the thing that changed it, right?
Yeah.
So understanding like, okay, the mind, right? Like the mind. So I started visualizing myself being the smartest man in the world. I started visualizing myself being the most powerful, the strongest, the most intelligent. And then my body, it produced it, right? But it started with the thought of it. I would go to the yard. I couldn't pick up 200 pounds. I went there every day, and I'm watching other people to lift it. And I go back to the cell, and I'm sitting in the cell, and I'm just in my mind, I'm visualizing myself. I'm lifting this motherfucker. I'm lifting. I'm thinking it. And remember, when you think about something for 3 minutes or more, your body starts producing the chemical. So I started feeling like I just took a fucking, creatine shot, or I just started feeling like I could feel something happening. And when I got to the weight, I just felt something. I really felt stronger. And I said, oh, okay, this is okay. And that was then I became addicted to that. That like, okay, if I think it can happen.
Wow.
Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No emo, mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No emo, mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No emo, you think of that. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic.
Welcome to Mind Over Matter, baby. I'm your host, Deja Wallace, and as you can see, I have a lovely, lovely guest in the building. I'm so excited to have this guest with me, Mr. Smart, also known as Aliko Yusuf Shakur. But most people know him as Smart. And yeah, this is going to be a great episode. If this is your first time joining, welcome. I'm very excited to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Episode 76 of Mind Over Matter. We're talking about trusting your intuition. So kick back, relax, and enjoy this episode. So for the people who don't know who you are, give them like a quick introduction. Let them know.
Well, they know who I am.
If you don't know.
No, they know. I mean, honestly, I'm at that point finally, and I take pride in saying that because it's been I've been working on just my brand, my message, and my work for over 10 years. So I'm at the point now where people actually do know me, and because of the power of social media and that being leveraged, people actually do know me. Like even I was at the little shop next door, 5 people came to me, right?
Wow.
So they know me. But what I do is I do motivational speaking, I do music, I do boxing, I do community work, I do activist work, and my focus is empowering Black people and teaching Black people how to reach their full potential. I got a seminar, No Labels Tour. The website is nolabelstour.com. My number is 917-907-3687. And my Instagram is @thesmartguy_.
Okay. Wow, you actually give people your personal number?
I have to.
Wow. That's different. I want to talk about what's the podcast, what we're actually going to get into. It's going to be a very enlightening conversation. And I'm glad to I feel like you're the perfect person for this conversation.
All right, for sure.
So intuition, when I think about intuition, many of us confuse intuition with some mystical guide, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, when I think about intuition, it's more so having the willpower to take all your emotional data, your spiritual data, your even physical data, and create action in that exact moment. That's how I look at intuition as. Mm-hmm. So what is your perspective when you think about intuition?
It's different. I mean, I feel like I'm in definitely agreement with what you said. Mm-hmm. I think just having maybe an internal feeling of what's going on, and identifying what you're feeling and why you're feeling that. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would consider intuition.
Okay. So how do you even build trust in your intuition?
Well, we got to know self, right? Like, it's very, very important to understand what introspection is, and being able to. I'm trying to simplify it too, right? Like, it's like you have to know who you are, and then you have to know what parts of you're currently utilizing. So, like I say all the time, how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So when I understand what I'm thinking, I know why I'm feeling this way, right? And I know my perception is created by, my thoughts, right? So I learned to trust my intuition, because it's a feeling, it's an instinct, it's an emotion. But I know those emotions come from those actual thoughts, right? So I'm able to trust because I know that I created this intuition, I created this instinct, I created this feeling due to repetitive thoughts that I'm thinking subconsciously. So how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So when you feel something, you're only feeling something because you're thinking something. And a lot of times we go so much on the feeling, but we kind of like disregard, or we're not aware of the actual thought that we're thinking that's creating the feeling that's leading to this intuition. Because intuition could be wrong, right? So before we learn to trust our intuition, we need to identify what we're thinking first, and then when we understand what we're thinking and the cause effect of that, then we're able to trust that intuition, because we know, again, that thought, that emotion, that intuition.
I love that. Like, I need to start saying that every day.
Yeah, for sure. Like, how
you just said that so fluently.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's really what the essence of mind over matter is, to create your inner reality first, how you want it, to attract your outer reality. So I really, truly believe that if you're able to govern whatever is happening inside of you, everything else will fall into place. And that's really what mind over matter means to me. What does that statement mean to you, mind over matter? What's the first thing you think?
Well, I always try to make sure that I break things down in a way and just don't say it so fast before I understand it, right? So, maybe mind over matter. Like, my mind is presiding over physical matter. Like, my mind is the driver, right? And maybe mind being the primary thing that matters, right? And my mind is controlling everything of physical matter. And so that's what I get from that. But also, we got to understand that our minds are so powerful, and once we start to understand how the mind works, then we can tap into our minds and create a life that actually matters. See, this is why understanding neuroscience is so important, right? And understanding that our thoughts create electromagnetic vibrations, and those vibrations become magnetic, and they have a gravitational pull to them, and things matter, and those things come to us based upon those vibrations, right? So I think the mind is very, very important, especially for this generation. So mind over matter, what that means to me is, to answer your question, is just the mind being the primary thing before we put it on something physical or tangible. Yeah.
It's interesting because I thought about this documentary I was watching called What the Bleep is Happening. And you can watch it on YouTube for free. And basically, it's so powerful, the mind, because in the documentary, there was a bit where they had water and they had people thinking like positively and people in a room thinking negatively. And it was actually changing the shape of the water with their thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because the molecular structure of water can and will change by even us just speaking to it. So like, right in emotion, if I boom, 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 hey, I love you, I love you, I love you, you love me, you empower me, you energize me. Oh, this is what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So but that's why I say it's very important to understand physiology, neuroscience, how our body works, how our mind works, and that in association to things that we consume, things that we use and stuff like that. And there's a opportunity in the space now for us to basically wake up. And I think it's very important that we take advantage of that, right? Yeah.
And you said something very interesting earlier about how sometimes your intuition can be wrong. And a lot of the times, like, I feel like we're in denial about it because we don't want our intuition to guide us in a place where we have to do the difficult work. And our intuition isn't always going to make us feel comfortable. It isn't always going to guide us in a direction that is stable for us. Sometimes it would require us to go out into the unknown. So what is like a common misconception you think people have about intuition and following it?
Well, our intuition is being controlled by people who colonize and oppress us, right? So this is how the intuition can be wrong. Again, how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So if you're being conditioned subconsciously, indirectly to think a certain way, then you're going to feel a certain way, and then that intuition is developed based upon those actual feelings and thoughts. So the reason why the intuition can be off is because, whether it's media, movies, family members who have conditioned you to think a certain way that is completely wrong, right? Now your intuition is off, and then if there's no defense from it, right, then you forever live a life of false or uninformed, or maybe not the most powerful or highest level of intuition, right? So that's why it's very important for us to be mindful of, our thoughts and what cultivates and architects the thoughts that we think on a day-to-day basis, and then understanding the power of being present, understanding the power of, because it takes 1 second. With every second that goes by, it's a chance to turn your life around. So an hour is a lifetime filled with second chances, because once you change your vibration, then the trajectory or direction you're going in is going to change as well. So it only takes 3 seconds, 3 minutes the most, to actually change not only what you're thinking, but also what you're feeling. And what happens internally is when you think about something for 3 minutes or more, your body produces a chemical, produces a hormone that is correlated or associated to that actual thought. So if I'm afraid of something, my body is going to produce a chemical that can create a temporary paralysis, right? If I'm excited, if I'm happy, my body is going to produce an endorphin, right? If it's sexual and I'm horny, my body's producing these things, right? So once we understand the chemicals that our body produces based upon the thoughts we think, now we can manipulate our thoughts to create chemicals that are conducive to us, being successful or just having a better mental state, so to say.
Do you think people intuition can be like programmed? Because
Yeah.
I never thought of that. Honestly, I thought like intuition was like God speaking to me or like my
No,
inner
that's
voice.
the illusion, right?
Mm.
So when we understand that slave owners, right,
Mhm.
they realize that it's one of my notes too, that they basically extinguish every avenue by which light can enter the mind of the slave.
Mm.
If they can only extinguish the slave's ability to see the light, then we would be on the same level as the beast in the field. Okay? So light meaning information, avenue meaning institution. So can you go to school? Is it easy to go to school and understand what Kemet is? Is it easy to go to school and understand who the story of Haru? Is it easy to go to school and understand that the Egyptians taught the Greeks and the story of Jesus was inspired by the story of Haru? Is it easy to go to school and understand that the King James version of the Bible was created because he wanted to break away from the Roman Catholic Church, right? Like these and King James was a homosexual. He was a murderer. You know, the things King James done would make Hitler look like Gandhi. You know, is it easy to, you know, is it easy to go to school and and learn alchemy, right? Like how to move things with your mind and telekinesis? No, we have destroyed. So meaning if they destroyed every avenue by which light can enter the mind of a slave, let's break this down. We have destroyed. So we've destroyed the schools. We have destroyed every avenue, platform, school. We have destroyed every avenue by which light, information, the true knowledge of self, of who we are, right? Now, if we can only extinguish the slave's ability to see the light, right? The ability to see light is the ability to learn, the ability to acquire new skills, skill acquisition, the ability to grow mentally, physically. You know, if we can destroy their ability to see the light, then they will now be on the same level as the beasts in the fields. And if we're not careful, which the destruction of our ability to see the light is starting to manifest itself today. I'm think about it. We there's a lot of, they say, scientists said the only things that separates animals from humans in terms of sex is the fact that animals have sex from behind. And everything gets glorified about doggy style, the black woman from behind. The black woman is a female dog. This is my man. This is my dog. This is my dog, right? This generation is becoming consciously on the same level as the beasts in the field. When you see zebras getting hunted by lions, and, you know, imagine a police officer being a lion and a little black boy or a black teenager being a zebra, right? There's 100 zebras and there's one lion. That one lion has the fear of God and 100 zebras. And if these zebras would just turn inward, they could trample that lion to death, right? I have destroyed every avenue by which light can enter the mind of the slave. If I can only extinguish the slave's ability to see the light, then they will be on the same level as the beasts in these fields. These kids are calling themselves demons, and they're calling themselves everything but who they are, gods and goddesses. And they're trying to have an agenda to move this generation to be on the same level mentally as beasts in the field. So we have to be aware of the mind. We have to be, this is why that question you proposed was so powerful, right? Like, you know, how can I trust my intuition? Understanding that intuition can be conditioned, can be architected, can be curated, can be controlled. And it is, and it has been for us as a culture. So how you think creates how you feel. So now when I change how I think, now I'm changing how I feel. And then now I'm feeling, how am I feeling about this situation in this scenario? You only see what you look for, right? But I'm looking based upon what is programmed into my mind, whether it's for me or someone else. So the solution to that is to study, right? To study, have knowledge yourself, understand that you're not a female dog. I'm not a dog. I'm not a nigger. I'm not an op. You know, I'm a god. You're a goddess. I'm the original. Black people have been on this earth for over 200. We've been on this earth for over 200,000 years. White people have been on this earth for less than 10,000 years, for less than 8,000 years. We're the oldest living organisms on this fucking planet, right? So how can we be the minority? We're really the majority, right? And it's, and every, I'm gonna say this again. We've been on this planet for over 200,000 years. It's been proven and documented. Okay, so when you understand that, this is why our relationship with our ancestors is so important. The knowledge that we're gonna get, but how do we converse with our ancestors? How do we have how can, because they make it seem like, oh, this is impossible. You're dead, you're gone. No. This is why African spirituality is. This is why African spirit. I'm getting tongue tied. How you say
Spirituality.
That's why African spirituality. Because I get passionate. I'm trying to control myself, right? But I'm a little frustrated about this whole ordeal. Because I feel like we've been bamboozled, and I feel like once we understand who we are, we're going to stop being controlled by people who are not us, right? So this is important to understand that your intuition can be controlled and curated by your thoughts. So you have to protect your mind, and you protect your mind through meditation. You protect your mind through understanding the actual mind, the actual brain. So we have to start getting interested in neuroscience, the different parts of the brain and how the brain works, the pituitary glands, right? Neuromelanin, our brain produces a liquid form of melanin. Like our skin has melanin, our brain produces liquid melanin, and that is like the power source of us. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then I'm gonna say this next point, right? Because it's all connected. White people don't want to disappear. So they are afraid of white genetic annihilation. If every black man woke up tomorrow and said, I'm going to have 12 babies, within 18 months, there will be no white people on the planet. So they're afraid, and they weaponize homosexuality to protect against white genetic annihilation. They weaponize the over-sexualization of black women to protect against white genetic annihilation. They weaponize the emasculation of black men to protect against white genetic annihilation, and our elevation is viewed by them as their annihilation. That's why it's so much emphasis on killing and trying to destroy us. And if we're not aware, it's not a race war. It's a genetic war. And we have to begin to understand how they view us so we can understand why there's this battle. We will never get peace with Europeans. We will never have this I have a dream speech Dr. King talked about, because they are afraid to become extinct. And the weapons of mass destruction is in my balls. Literally. This is a genetic war. So when we understand that, right? Now I'm protecting my balls. Now I'm mindful of what I do with my balls, what I do with my semen, what I do. I'm mindful of that. And I understand the power of that. And I understand the hate generated because of what's going on inside of me genetically. Right?
Yeah.
So when we understand that, then now we don't have false expectations on peace. We don't have false expectations on freedom. We don't have false expectations on living in this peaceful world with white people, because they believe that if we live in the world with them, they're going to eventually disappear from the world. Yeah.
So it's deeper than just white and black. It's going on like psychologically. Like they've been studying us for years, and we haven't even take the time out to study their tactics and what's going on.
No, we don't have to. That's why I said, listen, we taught them. See, they like to say that the Greeks are the fathers of psychology, right?
Okay.
Fathers of medicine.
Yeah.
They give everything to the Greeks.
Yeah, they do.
But everything came from Kemet.
That's true.
We taught them, right? So
Yeah.
check it out. We've been here for over 200,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So once we start to understand who we are,
Mm-hmm.
they don't matter. This is why.
Yeah.
And not to cut you off, but I want to say this, what's so important about you opening up your mind as a Black woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the power that we possess. This is why it's like Thanos stones, right? Have you ever seen the pictures? But it's not multiple stones. It's only two. One from me and one from you. And you put that in the glove, it's a wrap. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to worry about how they feel about how we feel about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to worry about being stopped by someone who doesn't have the power to stop us.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe in their ability to destroy what you're building, to give them power to destroy what you're building. Once you remove the power, you remove the energy, you remove the care, and you only focus on self. You no longer look out the window to see if the white people are clapping for you. You look in the mirror and you clap for your motherfucking self. Then the world is going to change, and it's going to change overnight.
Yeah. And that's why, like, leading to this next point, emotional intelligence is so important as well. And I feel like a lot of people in my age group, my friends and stuff, I feel like they lack a lot of emotional intelligence, and they are more so likely to replace their emotional intelligence with like artificial intelligence that they heard from something. So a lot of the times when I'm speaking to people my age, they sound like a social media feed.
Yeah, well, AI studies patterns.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like I can't have this conversation with somebody my age right now.
You can and you will.
I mean,
because now you're gonna listen. Because now you're gonna now remember, how you think creates how you feel.
Yeah, that's true.
How you feel becomes an emotion.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. AI is pointless in the Black man's world because we're innovators. AI only studies patterns. I'm in the future. I'm creating. I'm an innovator. There's nothing like me. AI cannot do it. AI is pointless for us. When we operate on a level that we can, we're innovators. AI has to study patterns. Again, it cannot create anything. It studies patterns and then creates things based upon the patterns that it studied. But the patterns it's studying was already in pre-existence.
Create new patterns. That's what it is.
For sure. So then we become superior to AI.
Yeah.
And we will always be superior. So now when we talk about emotional intelligence, I wanted to put it into 4 points, right? 1, self-awareness. Number 2, self-management. Number 3, empathy. And then number 4, the application to that in relationships. That's what we call social skills and being pro-social instead of anti-social, right? So saying, okay, well, self-awareness. We're breaking down emotional intelligence into 4 parts. Part 1, self-awareness. I have to be aware of self. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? I'm a God. I'm a God. I'm a God. I'm the original man. Who are you? You're a goddess. You're a goddess. You're a goddess. You're the original woman. The smartest organism on this planet is you. I come into a close second, right? So that's that self-awareness aspect, right? Then number 2, self-management, right? Now I need to manage my emotions, self-management of these emotions. I have to manage my emotions. But in order for me to manage my emotions adequately, I need to manage my thoughts, because how you think creates how you feel becomes an emotion, right? So in order for me to manage my emotions, I have to manage my thoughts. And then I have to create these thoughts and think thoughts in a way that creates emotions that I need to feel conducive to an actual purpose. And if that purpose is being happy, if that purpose is being successful financially, if that purpose is starting a business, then I need to think thoughts connected to emotions that will help me feel this way. And I need to create a reinforcement calendar. So the part 2 of emotional intelligence is emotional management. You can create a reinforcement calendar. Identify the things that motivate you to operate on the highest level. Okay? Identify these things. And what are these external stimulus? and what thoughts create these feelings, and then let me document it. And then from Monday to Sunday, I plan out how I'm gonna feel every single day. Now I'm managing my emotions, right? So Monday is happy, Tuesday is excited, Wednesday is ferocious, Thursday is studious, Friday is spiritual, Saturday is peaceful, Sunday is athletic, or like you're identifying how you want to feel, you're planning to feel those emotions, you're managing those emotions through the thoughts that you think, because the thoughts you think create the emotions you feel. Okay? How you think creates how you feel becomes an emotion, that emotion becomes a vibration, that vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. The third part of the emotional intelligence breakdown is empathy, understanding and acknowledging others' emotions, and not letting those emotions be projected onto you. Not allowing myself to pee based upon what you're drinking. Not allowing myself to shit based upon what you're eating, because what you eat don't make me shit, and what you drink don't make me pee. Right? But I'm empathetic. I understand. Right? I have to have a level of empathy. Right? And through that empathy, it allows me to have a form of emotional separatism, where I separate your emotions from mine. I don't allow your emotions to become mine, and I don't allow your emotions, my emotions to become yours in the form of expectations. Okay? So I have to have empathy. Empathy is going to allow me to be patient. It's going to allow me to have, people in my life. And it's also going to allow me to separate people's emotions from mine, because I only need to feel how I want to feel. And then how I want to feel is how I need to feel. And how I feel is created based upon how I'm thinking. So I'm going to understand how you feel and why you feel this way. It's going to give me more insight to just how people think generally, but I'm going to still be focused on how I feel. But I don't hate you for feeling how you feel, right? I understand empathy. I'm empathetic. I understand that you're afraid that my genetic power will erase you. I understand. But I separate those emotions.
That's like the law of detachment, really, where you don't allow outside factors to really manipulate you or influence you to how you feel internally.
For sure. And then the last part, the fourth part, is the application of those things I just said into relationships, into society, and moving from an antisocial approach to more of a pro-social approach. So that was my kind of like 4-part breakdown of emotional intelligence and what it means to me.
Wow, I'm gonna have to run that back and study that, because that was some good gems right there. Okay, so for me, when I'm like thinking of like how can I be more emotionally intelligent, that really started in my period of like isolation during the pandemic. A lot of us spent more than a usual amount of time alone with ourselves, and it made me like really discover the beauty of being alone, because I feel like a lot of people are uncomfortable with being alone, so they label it as being lonely in a way. And I had to really differentiate from my mental health the difference between being alone and being lonely, because I thought it was so beautiful when I came out of that period. Like at first it was a very anxious feel, but when I came out of that period, I found beauty in being alone. And because I was so like overstimulated and always like around people in my day-to-day life, I thought it was a curse to be alone in a way. I really just thought like being alone was like, I didn't love myself enough to be alone. I didn't accept like my thoughts. My thoughts were very like negative. So it was very hard for me to be alone. But coming out of that period, I started meditating and I started realizing that there's a lot of beauty in being alone, because you're basically the most truthful with yourself when you're alone. And that's really what I learned from being alone. So do you like feel like your periods of isolation has helped you elevate in any way?
Well, it takes a village,
Mm-hmm.
right? So by design, so again, because there's some new information, right, that we speaking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of our intuition can be we can have wrong intuition, we can have false intuition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not supposed to be alone,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're supposed to be in community, we're supposed to be in village, we're supposed to have this thing,
that's
right?
true.
So it's very important to understand that, and maybe for some, they may need to separate to recalibrate. They may need to separate to heal. They may need to separate to refocus. I'm not an advocate of being alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an advocate of attracting the things to you that you want. By nature, we don't want to be alone.
Mm-hmm. But like, I feel like in that period, a lot of people were forced into isolation, even if they wanted to be around people.
I mean, again, I know I was around people. You know what I mean? I was around everybody, So,
okay.
But what I'm saying is by nature, we don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Right? And what happens sometimes is the people that are in our life don't make us feel good. So we just want to get away from them. And then getting away from them turns into being alone. But what if you knew that you don't have to be alone, and the people that are in your life will be loyal, will be loving, will be compassionate, right? Will reciprocate what you give to them, right? What if you knew that was a possibility? Would you then be alone, right? And that's a rhetorical question, right? Most people wouldn't, right? So, but how do you bring those people into your life? How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So just mantras. That's why the second part of emotional intelligence is the self-management of those emotions. I'm blessed. I'm loved. I'm happy. I'm blessed. I'm loved. I'm happy. And this is the mantra. This is the thought. So I'm going to sit with that thought long enough for my body to produce the chemical, right? That creates the electromagnetic vibration, that creates the gravitational pull, that becomes that magnet, that brings those things and people into my life. So now I have the life that I'm living because I'm thinking about the life that I'm living and the life I want to live every second, to the point where I'm conditioning my mind to think those thoughts passively. I don't even have to put no effort in. It's thinking that way, right? So I think that we need to move away from the people that are not good for us in our life and meditate alone to attract the people to your life so you don't have to be alone.
And wow, sometimes it's easier said than done, of course. Because
yeah, right there. Wait, hold on. You just said it. Say it again.
It's easier said than done.
Say it again.
It's easier said than done.
So now, this is why it's very important to pay attention to what we say. Because you just said it. You said it right there. Right?
Yeah.
You said it. So what did you say?
It's easier said than done.
Yeah. You said it, right? It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
So what if you knew that your words manifest? So if it's easier said, oh, come on now.
It's easier done than said? What? I don't get it.
No.
What?
It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
So if it's easy to say it, why are you not saying it? Because when you say it, it gets done. It's easier said than done. So if what I say comes into existence, then if I say it, then it's going to get done. Easier said than done, right? So I'm blessed. It's easier to say it than go through the physical action of it, right? So easier said than done is an actual positive term. We just don't understand how to pull the positivity out of the term. So most people say that term in a negative light. Easier said than done. So if it's easier said than done, but you have to know that
Damn, I didn't even think of that.
So
that's
good.
Crazy.
But we have to know that, right?
Yeah.
What we're saying is gonna get done because what we speak comes into existence.
Yeah.
So if I sit here on this couch and I say, from this couch, man, I'm happy. And that's all I say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm gonna be happy. If I don't have to move. Easier said than done. If I sit on this couch and I say, I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich.
I'm rich. I'm rich.
You know what's gonna happen? Well, no, watch this. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. Yeah. Right? And listen.
Yeah.
Because I want you to understand this is very important, right?
I'm listening.
You know what's gonna happen? My vibration is gonna become so powerful that somebody's gonna come and sit here and record me. And it's gonna monetize itself. Something is gonna happen. I'm gonna sit on this couch. I'm rich. I'm not moving. Sit this mother for a year. I'm rich. I'm rich. Check it out.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen is, because what we said, easier said than done. Let's break this down now. No. Listen, no. It's going over your head. I don't want to go over your head.
It's not.
It's better not, because I'm gonna give it to you.
It's not.
Take this Louis off real quick. You know what I'm saying? I want you to get this. You know what I mean? So what happens is, listen, we said it, right? Okay, so how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So if I sit here, easier said than done, I had to get hyped for that, because that shit is some real fucking shit that every black man and every black woman needs to know. Easier said than done. So we're gonna make lazy profitable. So if I sit on this couch every day and I say, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, and I speak it and I speak it and I think it and I think it, right? What's gonna happen is that word is gonna become a vibration. And that vibration is going to have a gravitational pull. And then eventually, literally, people are going to pull out phones and cameras and they're going to record me saying that, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. And then people are going to be inspired by that. And then they're going to get rich, right? Because they're going to be so like, what this? I'm rich, I'm rich. They're going to be playing it every day in the morning. You're going to hear my voice all over the world. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Oh my God. Movies, commercials. And then before you know it, somebody's knocking on the door. Hey, man, you changed my life, man. You know, you changed my life, man. Well, I did. I'm rich. They're going to give me money.
Yeah.
Right? Easier said than done. So if it's easier said than done, then why you not saying it? Because you damn sure ain't been doing it. So if it's, yeah. All right? Let's get to it. That's right.
No, this is true because I've lived in it before.
You're living in it now.
I'm living in it now, but
that's right. You're doing your thing. Come on now.
Yeah, I have a specific moment where I attracted money to me like the next day, and I kept saying the same thing over and over and over. I was like, money flows to me abundantly, and I just kept saying it. But it was something my friend had suggested me to start doing. So I kept saying it.
No. See, there you go. It was something you made your friend suggest to you. Do your thoughts subconsciously.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on now. You just told you.
Yeah,
who are you?
I'm a goddess.
Exactly. So now what happens is you attract, like you made that happen, right? You made that happen, and then you just brung back what you needed, the confirmation from an external stimulus. So what you did was your mind created that conversation to give you confirmation to take action to get what you actually wanted.
Oh, it's true.
That's why it takes a village sometimes. Yeah.
I like how you like really are very particular about the words you use.
Oh yeah.
Because like you said, well, off camera, you had brought up a point where you said that podcasting or content is like the new hieroglyphics. And it's funny because I started this podcast in hopes of like when I'm long gone that my future kids and like my, just generations down the line will look back and then see me speaking highly, just speaking life.
Right.
And it's interesting that you brought that up because I never thought of it like that. The new hieroglyphics is content. So break that down, what you meant when you said that.
Well, basically we got to understand too that the first hieroglyphics, right? Those things have been manipulated, right? Hold on. Ooh, sorry.
Bless you.
Yeah. Those things have been manipulated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important that we start to really, really learn our history and our culture. Because, like I said, they have destroyed every avenue by which light can enter our minds. And if they destroy the ability to see the light, then we're on the same level as the beasts in the fields. So this is why this type of content, this hieroglyphic, we're reshaping the minds of the next generation so they're not on the same level as the beasts in the fields mentally, right? So this being a hieroglyphic, this is going to live past our physical lifespan in this realm. It's going to live past that, right? So with understanding that this is the hieroglyphic, this is going to be the thing that our generations to come to for enlightenment, for information. We have to have a motivation to deliver this information in a way that is valid, that is productive, that they can actually take some energy from and apply it to their lives to make their lives better. So this is why the content is so important right now. So that's my outlook on it. And you know, a lot of times shit just comes to me and I be, you know, like
You're flowing.
Yeah, so but I'm gonna expound on that probably at a later time, but maybe in our part 2 when we go Instagram live.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Content
you heard
is
it
the
here
hieroglyphic,
first.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's an interesting concept. I need to think more about that because I never thought about that until you actually said it. So a lot of what we're talking about may not resonate with certain people who aren't like spiritually mature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that also comes with what a lot of what you were saying, like just having emotional intelligence, the 4 pillars you spoke about before. And what was like the defining moment in your life where you realized you had a certain behavior that was no longer conducive to your growth and made you even shift to this mindset right here?
Well, the moment I started meditating, you know, and that behavior was thinking negative, like thinking negative, and
That's
you know,
crazy,
and that was
yeah.
the thing that I actually had to change, right? Like, okay, how I think, and that was everything.
That's exactly what changed it for me was meditation as well.
Yeah, right. So the moment I knew what the mind can do, right? The moment I knew what my mind was over, right? Like, you know, mind over matter, right? Like you understand, like my mind, this is so powerful, right? I can do anything with this. And I started to do that, you know, and the power of visualization, and you know, and due to my isolation in prison, you know, it forced me to figure out what was going on in here. It brought me here. It brought me here, right? And when I got here, I was like, oh shit, this is okay. Hold up, man. I could box, I could fight, I could lift, I could power lift. You know? Hold on. Let me show you. I mean, this is impromptu, but this was the thing that I gotta go on my gram, _, shameless plug. Shameless plug. But I started to.
What?
So these are 2 guys, right?
Wake up. You got this. Let's go. You got this. Stop playing with this.
And they're over.
Here you go. Right there. Here you go.
So I started to visualize, like,
here you go. Keep
me
going.
being the
Come here,
strongest man in the world.
Come to me.
Right?
Keep going.
And then
You got to get here. Keep
one,
going.
right? And
Keep going.
He's lifting up
Keep
2
going.
people that add up to 500 pounds on his back.
Keep going.
right?
Keep going.
Crazy, right? So
Keep going.
then this
Keep
the
going.
last one, right?
There you go.
The
Gate to
deadlift.
gate.
This is close to 800 pounds. Not on no steroids and no shit like that, right? Like, boom.
Nah, that's crazy. You maxed out.
And I don't have no max. I mean,
Damn.
watch when I drop though.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Nah.
But
That's crazy.
But that was the thing that changed it, right?
Yeah.
So understanding like, okay, the mind, right? Like the mind. So I started visualizing myself being the smartest man in the world. I started visualizing myself being the most powerful, the strongest, the most intelligent. And then my body, it produced it, right? But it started with the thought of it. I would go to the yard. I couldn't pick up 200 pounds. I went there every day, and I'm watching other people to lift it. And I go back to the cell, and I'm sitting in the cell, and I'm just in my mind, I'm visualizing myself. I'm lifting this motherfucker. I'm lifting. I'm thinking it. And remember, when you think about something for 3 minutes or more, your body starts producing the chemical. So I started feeling like I just took a fucking, creatine shot, or I just started feeling like I could feel something happening. And when I got to the weight, I just felt something. I really felt stronger. And I said, oh, okay, this is okay. And that was then I became addicted to that. That like, okay, if I think it can happen.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when I said about not having no max, if a fucking 3-ton car, this is my brother. If a 3-ton car is on my brother, I'm gonna lift it up. I may never lift it again. But if it's a matter of lifting this car
and saving him, yeah.
Or not lifting it and never seeing him again, oh, the car's gonna be lifted.
Wow.
I'll be on the news. Man lifting 2,000. Hey. Yeah.
I meditate a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it's always this one thing that I struggle with is visualization. And I still don't know why. I write down what I want to happen. I speak it out loud. But when it comes to the visualization part, it always is like hard for me to visualize it.
So you got to break down what visualization is, right? What it is it's mental images. Then you got to practice. It's like a muscle. You got to develop it, right? So we make it real simple, right? Sorry, this looks like a fucking nail, right? So I don't know if you guys seen this fucking nail, right? So right, what color is the nail?
White.
Okay, where's it on?
A table.
Is it laying down or standing up?
Standing up.
Okay, you see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pick the nail up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you know how the nail feels.
Yep.
Right?
It's plastic.
Put it down. Okay. Boom. Now, close your eyes. What color is the nail?
White.
Where's the nail at?
On the table.
Is it laying down or standing up?
Standing up.
Open your eyes. What color is the nail?
White.
Where is it at?
On the table.
What is it doing?
Standing up.
That's how you visualize it. And you start something small because your confidence in the visual is high when it's minimalistic. So you have to have, you taper up. So think of it like bench press. Mine's like a muscle, right? So I've bench pressed over 500 pounds. I have not started. Hold on. Let me just show you. This is, you know what I mean?
No, I already seen enough.
Segue, you know what I mean? Like, so no, I'm just saying this is important, right?
This is no cap.
Right? So I'm telling them, either I get it or I die. So I'm talking, I'm thinking, you know what I mean? I'm visualizing, like, you know what I mean? This is.
Get up here.
See, me or you?
Get one more. Get up here.
So that's the mind, right? So that's the power. That's the power of the mind. So I showed you that. So you could, but I didn't start off lifting that much, right?
Right.
So I started off with just no bar on the weight. So I think the weight is like 45 pounds, just the bar itself, right? And then I lift that bar, right? So that's the nail. See? So the lift is an analogy for the visualization.
Mm-hmm.
So you just lifted the nail, which is the 45-pound bar.
Right.
Then what's the next step you're going to do? You're going to put 2 45 plates on the bar. That's going to make it 135. So now you're going to go from a nail to maybe a watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you master lifting a watch, right? Then you go from a watch to maybe an article of clothing, right? And then you grow, and you strengthen your ability to visualize in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why it's tough sometimes to visualize certain things, because we're taught that we're conditioned to think a certain way about ourselves or perceive ourselves. So self-image is important too as well, right? So this is why you make it small. Like, I'm pretty sure you saw that nail just like it is right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you got to practice that and then be consistent with the practice. So consistency, clarity, and commitment. Those 3 things will help you increase your ability to visualize.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, because I always try to go straight to the what do I want my lifetime like achievement to be when I try to visualize it,
So
and it
with
just
that being
goes
said,
blank.
being said, you take somebody who never went to a gym and you put them under that weight, and you see what I said, right? Either I get it or I die.
Yeah, yeah.
They gonna die. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they ain't never lived shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not impossible, but it's a lot more harder to do it that way. So you make what you're visualizing minimalistic. So now you can meet your level, you can gauge your level of confidence in your ability to visualize based upon what you're visualizing.
Right.
And then you become stronger. And then it becomes easier to have that bigger lift, right? Or that bigger vision. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow. That's gonna help a lot. I'm definitely gonna use that.
I have advice for the people who overcame their struggle. I have reinforcement for the people. And if you're watching this, and when you watch this, and when you see this, claim it, because it's easier said than done. And if you've been struggling, now it's time to make it easy. So if it's easier said than done, then why are you not saying it? And if we know that what we speak comes into existence, I'm only prophesizing prosperity over my people. You already overcame the struggle because you're seeing this episode. You're alive. You're watching it. So now you're taking this information and instantaneously applying this information, and then now you're changing your life, right? Because you know it, right? Because what we said, with every second that goes by, it's a chance to turn your life around. So there's an hour is a lifetime filled with opportunities, right? It's a chance. Every second that goes by, with every second, it's a chance. And how you turn your life around is investing the 3 minutes it takes to create the chemical, to create the emotion that turns into the vibration, that becomes a magnet, that will attract things to you, that will attract better to you, that will attract the money to you, that will attract that loved one to you, that will attract that husband to you, that will attract that wife to you, that will attract that business to you, or the ability you need to execute to create the business and actually have a successful business. It takes 3 minutes or more, right? Easier said than done. So we're going to say it because it's easier said than done. And when we say it, then it gets done. And we ain't been doing it because we ain't been saying it. And we ain't been saying it because we ain't been feeling it. And we ain't been feeling it because we ain't been thinking it.
I mean, I have to reflect after this episode. I'm gonna watch this thing like 10 times.
Yeah, it's important. And then compartmentalizing the pieces of this content, which is a hieroglyphic now, right? And putting these hieroglyphics on the wall in your mind's pyramid, and then having it and saying like, oh wow, okay, let me have it here. And then pardon me, on your mind's mirror. I gotta stop saying the word pyramid, because the real word is mirror, right? And then pyramid was the thing to ascend, right? It's important. That's another conversation, right? But I think editing it, getting the clips, because you got to do it anyway, right? You got to get the clips for YouTube Shorts, the clips for TikTok, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
But those clips, it ain't just to go viral, and they will go viral, and they're going to go viral. But it's the medicine, it's the reminder, it's the reinforcement. When we talked about it, the second part of the 4 pillars of emotional intelligence is emotional management. So I'm gonna manage these emotions and have things that create these emotions, and that information will assist you in that.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. This was very enlightening, and it was very different than any interviewee I ever had. It really made me like, and I know it's going to continuously make me reevaluate my thoughts.
For sure. Because it's easier said than done, right?
Mhm.
And with every second that goes by, it's a chance to turn your life around. But turning your life around takes 3 minutes. You have a chance with a second, and you're doing it in 3 minutes. It takes a second to take advantage of the opportunity, and 3 minutes to create and capitalize off of that opportunity.
Okay, you heard it here first, y'all. We're going to wrap up. Is there anything, last words you feel like?
No Labels tour.
Oh, yeah?
You know,
Happened with
we got
that?
the New York City. We did Atlanta, Boston, and Texas. So we're doing New York now. I'm excited. This is going to be probably one of the biggest events. So you don't want to miss this. You can attend physically or digitally. My website is nolabelstour.com. Everything's spelled the correct way. My number is 917-907-3687. Holla at me. You can call me. It's a real number that actually works. I will be picking up when I say hello. You know it's me. Yeah. That's it.
Yes. So if you reached the end of another episode, I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Thank you. You really made the end of another episode.
Oh, another thing too. Can't take it with us when we going. So we gotta live life. I know I'm doing wrong, but damn, it feels right. We vibrate on a frequency. Emotions is a magnet. Thoughts manifest. Now you forced to take action. Fail, but fail faster. Endurance is a test. We only learn when we fall. Every no turns to yes. Take a deep breath. Don't become overwhelmed by the stress. Think about what you overcame. The situation will be next. Life is long, so live it. Survive. Move on to the next. I made mistakes, but I'm a new man. And God gave me a second chance. No fear, I gotta go for mine. The top is only for those who climb. It's a lonely road when you chosen. Never wait to be given roses. Grow your own. Stay focused. Your time is approaching. And treat family and friends the same when it's time to judge. Because you can see through water, but not through blood. Never be afraid to fail. We only lose for not trying. And procrastination is another form of dying. Every life serves a purpose, but a fish won't climb a tree. Open your eyes and see what you really want to be.
Bars. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Mind over matter, goddammit.
Yeah.
And her mind and my mind matters.
Yes. So make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend, mother, that it's mind over matter, baby.
You know what's so crazy?
What?
Yo, you need to make some merch with that.
Mind over matter, baby.
Mother.